All right, man, peace. So NBA superstar and future Hall of Famer LeBron James, as we all know, is part of a team that's struggling right now early this season. They seem to have turned the tide. But a topic was broached on the Skip and Shannon show in regards to could it be a possibility that the Cleveland Cavaliers could or should look to trade LeBron if things go south. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
The Cavs season has been a struggle so far. They're currently 7-7 in ninth place in the East. One anonymous rival executive told Bleacher Report that if the Cavs continue to struggle, they should trade LeBron, Kevin Love, or the Nets draft pick they got in the Kyrie trade. And an anonymous scout added, they could be a team that gets beat early in the playoffs. I think we're seeing the twilight of that group.
Now, look, I agree with the sentiment of the anonymous scout. I could easily see Cleveland going out in the first round, particularly depending on their seeding. I could definitely see that. I could see them getting run out at the gym. I could see them giving up, particularly if they lose. Maybe like if say Cleveland was a 4 seed and they lost the first 2 games at home, I could see them giving up. But I could also see them going to the finals. I mean, Cleveland, you never know what they're going to get with them. You never know what you're going to get watching them because they just don't seem to be coalescing as well as they should be, or as you would expect them to be, based on the narrative that you're given about LeBron James and how happy everyone is always to play with him. But we'll see. In regards to the first statement by the anonymous exec, that clearly was some disinformation that was put out to try to hopefully encourage the Cleveland front office to think about trading LeBron, which will never happen. LeBron is the most valuable piece in the NBA, and discernibly so. So that's not going to happen unless he requests it, and he'll never do that.
Heat going around there. We're joined by Episode NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, how close?
AKA Chris X, the militant sports analyst.
Close to the Cavs having to blow up the roster.
I want to know who this executive is.
Danny.
Really? Right.
Shannon said the exec is Danny Ainge. Hey, could be. Could be. If you're trying to figure out who did something, you always got to look at who has the most to gain.
Right. I mean, are we serious? Blow it up?
14 games in.
14 games in, you traded your second best player, who's a top 10, 15 player in the league.
Absolutely.
And the guy you got for him is not playing. You're not going to know who you are. You're not even going to come close to knowing who you are until Isaiah's back. That's right. Number one. Derrick Rose and Tristan Thompson are also hurt. Mm-hmm. That's number two. In 2014...
Yeah, but I mean, Derrick Rose is always hurt. So you can't look at that as an anomaly. You have to look at that as just a fact of life. Now, Tristan Thompson, he's caught in the Kardashian rabbit hole. Or I should say the Kardashian asshole, face first. So you don't know if he's going to emerge out of that shit alive. Because look at what has occurred with the other men who've chosen to deal in that witch coven.
LeBron's first year there, they were also 7-7 and 5-7. So this.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is between this year and that year, Chris? In 2014, when LeBron first got there and they were 5-7 and 7-7, there was not the specter of a dominant Golden State team hovering over them. Now, that was the first year that Golden State won the championship, but nobody knew that. I remember they got off to like a 13-1 start or 11-0, something like that. But people just thought, okay, they're taking a step upward. Nobody saw them winning 67 games that year in the championship. So people pretty much looked at Cleveland's early struggles as they're going to come out of it and they're going to win the championship because they were viewed as the super team that year, not Golden State. Golden State was a team that people thought, okay, with Steve Kerr, maybe they'll win 53 games. See, what really happened, for those of you who remember, just to provide some context, when LeBron left Miami in 2014, if you remember in the summer, he gave you that storyline, that narrative about how he wanted to lose weight because he was getting older, so he wanted to take some weight off. You remember there was that photo of him in the offseason in 2014 looking crackheadish, and then he came into the season with Cleveland, and he could barely jump. Like, he could barely dunk. He was shooting under 50%, like under 45% the first 20 games or so. I remember they had that really bad loss in Utah where I think he was mad at Kyrie because Kyrie only had 1 assist, something like that. And Then he went and he decided that he had to get his body together. He had to go to Miami for some reason to get his body together. I wonder why. He goes down there for 2 weeks and comes back up looking like Superman. So you put 2 and 2 together in regards to why he had to go to Miami to get his body together. But point being is this. Being 7-7 this year is much different from being 7-7 back in 2014 because you have the specter of Golden State. You also have the rising specter of Boston. Now, I still expect LeBron and Cleveland to beat Boston when it counts because of LeBron's, because of just who he is as a basketball player, his experience, and the fact that he's going to be keyed up to beat Kyrie. But I also expect that series to be a barn burner. But we'll see. We shall definitely see.
So this has happened before, and then last year, as bad as the Cavs look, they looked just as bad last year.
Yeah.
From January 2nd on, they were 25-24. They lost 7 of their last 11 games of the regular season, and then what happened in the playoffs?
They got blown out in the championship round, Chris. What the fuck you mean what happened? He's sitting there like they won the championship. That dude's got blown off the damn floor. Lost 4-1. Gentleman's sweep.
We saw what happened in the playoffs. So, no way. And that number 1 pick, the only circumstance I would consider, I wouldn't even do it for Boogie.
You crazy.
I would not do it for Boogie because
I agree with Chris. Boogie Cousins is not going to add much. Well, you know what? Well, LeBron, who knows? But the maturity level of that team will be so low with LeBron and Boogie Cousins. Like, I don't know if that would be a good mix.
Because here's the thing. That number 1 pick is protection in case LeBron leaves. It could be the next superstar in the league. It could be a Ben Simmons type player in terms of that good. So you have to keep that. Only if LeBron came to me as the front office or the owner and said, I'm staying. Let's build to win this year. And in the future, I'm not going anywhere. You get his name on the dotted line, whatever. That's the only way I would consider trading that number 1 pick with a Kevin Love or something. Look, if I could get Boogie for Kevin Love and some other players on the roster or a lesser draft pick, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen, Chris. Not with Boogie Cousins' productivity. But I'll say this, just to give an opposing perspective. If you're Cleveland and you decide to trade that first-round draft pick for Boogie, you can tell him, look, if LeBron stays, you get to play with LeBron. If LeBron leaves, we'll build a team around you and Isaiah Thomas and sign another player, and we could pick up where we left off. I think that could be appealing as well to a DeMarcus Cousins. But it depends on how Cleveland views their long-range goals. Because LeBron is leaving. I don't see him staying. I see him leaving and go to either LA or San Antonio. So
try to get some rim protection if I couldn't get Boogie, but blow it up, no way. Not close.
I believe that was Danny Ainge saying that. No, they shouldn't be.
Shannon gonna repeat it. He dead serious.
As long as you got LeBron James, you're not blowing anything up because this guy can get you to where. Because we've seen him take even inferior talent and go a lot farther than what these guys have here.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, Shannon. How many more years you want to see LeBron get to the championship and get his ass whooped again? Like, come on. That's like, you did all that training and you're not going to win, and you know that you're not going to win. LeBron and them is not going to beat Golden State unless Golden State suffers a massive injury from either, to either Steph or KD. They're not beating Golden State.
Here, Skip, this is not the same team. They've traded Kyrie. So now you got Derrick Rose, who wasn't there last year. Jay Crowder wasn't there last year. Isaiah Thomas wasn't there last year. They got a lot of guys, a lot of pieces. This is not the team from the last 3 NBA finals. This is not even close to that team. And as Chris mentioned, Double T is out. Derrick Rose is out. So we got to wait. First of all, they tried to trade Kevin Love, and they got no takers. And he's on a very friendly contract. Skip, he's 26th in the NBA in contract value. Think about it. In the next couple of years, True Holiday, Otto Porter, and Steven Adams will make more than Kevin Love.
So what does that tell you about how these other teams view Kevin Love? They look at him as a guy who's on the downside. I think most teams look at Kevin Love as a guy who's got about 3 years left of being serviceable.
So his contract is going to be very friendly moving forward. But, here, caveat, no Nobody wants Kevin Love. Boogie is averaging 28 and 14 and 6. That's more assists than Kyrie Irving. Boogie, unless Boogie's a point guard, he should not be averaging more assists than a point.
Well, what that tells you is not that Boogie Cousins is a better distributor than Kyrie. It tells you that their offense is designed to always have the ball in his hands and for him to be a primary distributor. That's what that tells you, Shannon. You can't always look at assist numbers and think that it denotes point guard play. The system that Boston runs is very similar to the system that San Antonio runs. It's not really built for one guy to pile up a bunch of assists. That's the reason why Tony Parker wasn't a guy who averaged 11.5 assists even in his prime, because their style of offense is not built that way. Their style of offense is built very similar to Golden State and San Antonio, where they constantly move the ball and everybody has to be able to pass, not just one player. So when I see a center that has 6 assists, that tells me that he probably has the ball in his hands a lot, and they're asking him to make decisions a lot. Or maybe DeMarcus spends too much time at the top of the key.
You would give up the number 1 pick in Love for Boogie. Or, Brooklyn's pick.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I would. Because me and my man, we ain't got that much time left. You got to understand that shit. Chris X, light-skinned militant, whatever you call yourself. We ain't got but a couple more years, so we can't be fucking around, okay? I'll trade whatever we got to trade. Shit, I'll trade Dan Gilbert if I need to get the man I need to help my man win the championship. Because we ain't playing no fucking games in 2017.
The thing is, you better win it now, because Boogie's a free agent too. So you could lose your number 1 pick next year. Let's say LeBron leaves, Boogie leaves, and you lose the pick too. And chances are, no matter what move you make, this is the thing, no matter who you get for that number 1 pick from Brooklyn, you're probably not beating Golden State.
Well, we know you're not beating Golden State. That's not probably. We already know you're not beating them.
No matter who you get. I mean, can you think of a realistic, unless it was Kawhi Leonard or somebody like that?
Well, you know what? I'm talking to Bron. Bron is interested in, we might be going to Philly. We might take our talent to Philly.
Hell yeah. I was talking to him last night. I was out getting my pedicure. I called his ass up, make sure he wouldn't do nothing stupid. I said, baby, what you doing? He said he was out with Savannah getting her hair done. I said, good. You go out there, you get your hair done too. That little bit of hair that's left, get it done. The last time I saw you, you look like shit. What we gonna do about this year with the team? He told me something about Double T. I said, fuck Double T. I don't care if he's Mr. T. We gotta get a real player, man. We trying to win. If we ain't winning, then bring your ass down to San Antonio with Popovich with his crazy ass, with his CIA ass. Maybe he could train you in something. Train you with some mind control. Lord knows you ain't got no damn control. Always on Twitter. Getting on my damn nerve. Every day I gotta argue with this old ass white man over you. Get your shit together.
He should go to
Philly, San Antonio, or Houston.
New York over LA, I'd say.
Help me out because
He's already the king,
Stay in
so.
the East.
Yeah.
He's the king of the city.
I didn't have time to do the research on this. What's Kyrie's record right now? I didn't get it.
The Celtics are 13-2.
Oh, the Celtics are
Celtics.
13-2.
You know the record with your old ass. Just making shit up. You know they 13-2. I don't care if they're 80-2. We still gonna get them.
But
And they won games without him.
They were 2-0 without Kyrie.
Oh.
the best defensive team in all of basketball, and Kyrie is the second best individual player defensive rating wise in all of basketball.
And that's very impressive too. I give Kyrie credit. But I mean, look, Kyrie's a great athlete. He's got great anticipation. He's very quick-minded, so he always could be a great defender. As I've stated before, a lot of times when your team is not good defensively, it comes from your lead player, and it trickles down. So when you see Cleveland last in the league in defense, you got to look at LeBron. LeBron is not instilling them with a proper sense of defense and pride in their defense.
Ball. Interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers are dead last in defense efficiency, and they are now 7-7. And to take your stat a little bit farther, over the last 60 regular season games dating to last year, they're 30-30. That's not a good sign. That's a scary trend to me.
I agree, and that's a very, very large sample size. To be 500 over the course of 60 games, come on. That's over 2/3 of a season.
Obviously, I need a bigger sample size. I need to get toward this year's trade deadline to see how this starts to evolve. I don't know what Isaiah Thomas is physically. Is he?
I agree, and just the fact that people are looking at him to be some type of savior for a team that has been in 3 straight championship rounds without him shows you how desperate they are.
Is he going to be right? He's indicating he will be right.
He's got to be at his best because remember, he's in a contract year.
Okay.
He's never gotten his money that he should get. He's making $7 million.
Well, I can't wait to see the all-time chemistry experiment that trying to fit Isaiah Thomas into this mix is going to create.
Agreed. Because I've stated before the season, I don't believe that him and LeBron are going to mesh well. Because LeBron is going to want him to be a guy who either can do the Kyrie role or a guy who's going to sit outside the 3-point line and wait for him to kick out. And I don't believe that Isaiah is going to have the ability to do what Kyrie did because Kyrie was just so dynamic. It's a big difference between having the ball at the top of the key, like Isaiah had in Boston, and being relegated to the wing, like Kyrie often was. I mean, every once in a while, LeBron would give Kyrie the ball at the top of the key and let him work. But Isaiah's not going to get as many opportunities to do it from that part of the floor as he did in Boston. So it's going to be interesting to see how or if he's able to make the most of the limited space on the floor.
Yeah. Because he's ball dominant and doesn't play a lot of defense.
Agreed.
And he's, how tall is he? 5'10"? I don't know. What
listed as 5'9".
Yeah.
Well, they listed him at 5'9", he's 5'8".
Okay.
At most.
He just might have the biggest heart in the NBA. I give him that, but he likes to have the basketball and he likes to shoot it when it matters the most. I admire that, but I'm not sure how that fits with LeBron's sort of.
Don't you think that's similar to Kyrie, though?
Yeah, it is.
To a degree it is, but Kyrie can do a multitude of things. Isaiah Thomas is not Kyrie offensively or defensively for that matter.
It is. And LeBron will get him easier shots.
Except Kyrie doesn't need the basketball as much.
Well,
not as much.
Yeah,
he'll catch it and shoot it. He'll come off picks. He's got a little more of that in his repertoire. But in this case, we keep talking about it. I keep seeing old legs. I don't see old in Tristan yet.
You see old legs in who? LeBron?
No, yeah. I mean,
are you crazy? Skip Bayless. Look, I'm serious right now. I need you to take that back. Or I'm going to be forced to whoop the shit out you.
well, I mean, on defense, I do. He just can't play defense like he used to.
Yeah.
I'm seeing an aging player. He can still dominate games. I don't take anything away from that. But a lot of these players are on the downside. They're on the backside.
I agree. And I also agree with what Skip said about LeBron defensively. But nobody wants to talk about it because they need to perpetuate this myth about LeBron being his all-time dominant defensive player. At one time, he was very good to borderline great on defense. But he has not been good on defense for the last 3 to 4 years. He wasn't even good on defense his last year in Miami.
Side of their careers. And it hurts most on the defensive end.
Yes.
And you've brought it up several times. You've got burnout and boredom going on with this basketball team, and it's hard because they know they're in the Eastern Conference, which is mostly a cakewalk, except now for that looming Boston. But they know what happened last year. They finished the last 46 games, they were 23-23, and it just didn't matter.
Skip,
because they cakewalk.
That's what, so you still think the regular season last year and
plus
this year
there's a trend
what about
going
the
on.
Playoffs though.
It was
when they just
shocking. They just said, "Okay, it's time. Here we go." But I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that. By the way, did you see what Toronto did at Houston last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was impressive that Toronto went down there and beat them. It doesn't mean that they got anything for the Cavs, though. Toronto is, I mean, they're the equivalent of a good contender in boxing who you've seen face top-level competition and fail every time. You know, Toronto is like the Adrian Broner of basketball. You know, if you match them well, they'll look good. But when you put them in there against championship-level competition, they're going to get their ass whooped.
Yeah. I'm starting to think Toronto's a little better than they were. A little better.
Bron, you know what Bron do to Toronto. Skip, this is what
Yeah, LeBron owns them.
this is what I'm having a hard time understanding. You say over the last 60 games, so that means 46 games last year and 14 games this year, correct?
Yeah, 7-7. Yeah.
Was Kyrie Irving any part of those 46 games last year, Chris Broussard?
all of them.
So in other words, when they finished dead last in deficiency rating, Kyrie Irving was on that team.
Well, this year they're.
Why is Shannon talking about old shit for? Kyrie's not on the team this year, brother. Why are you talking about Kyrie still? You mad that he's on Boston and playing like Gary Payton on defense? Is that why you mad?
This year they're dead last. They weren't dead last
They
last
were
year.
low though.
But they were 23 and 23.
Mm-hmm.
What part of that 23 and 23 was Kyrie Irving a part of?
What did I tell you earlier in the show? He didn't want to be part of any of it because he wanted out. And they would. We had quotes, anonymous quote earlier this year where he went his separate way.
You see what happened? See, this is a case of is that we look at Seattle's defense and they're balling out and just say they have the number one defense, but they got a weak corner. But they got the number one defense. But what about that corner? And see, that's what Kyrie Irving did. Kyrie Irving has joined a team that was good defensively last year.
No. Stop it, brother. I got to stop you there. They were 15th in the league in defense last season. So that's almost smack dab in the middle. That's basically smack dab in the middle. All right. They're number one in defense this year. So they're number one in defense not only because of the growth of Jaylen Brown and also the kid that they drafted, but also because of Kyrie. The fact of the matter is that Skip Bayless has already brought out. He's number 2 in the NBA in defensive efficiency. So you can't get around that. It's not like they're hiding him like they hit Isaiah Thomas last year. So you got to try harder with that one, brother.
Athletic. They're young, athletic guys. All of these guys.
They gave up their best defender in Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
But hold on. So Marcus Smart can't defend.
No,
Jaylen Brown can't defend.
Okay, but
Rozier can't defend.
Marcus Smart does not start for that team.
No, but I'm saying Skip. But he played.
Skip said it and made a face like, come on, Shannon, you got to do a little better. Like, study at least. Shit. I'm making you look bad.
Plays. Al Horford is a good rim protector.
Yeah.
So you're looking at this team, Aaron Baines. He's a big body. He can protect the rim. So Kyrie.
Yeah, but come on. Aaron Baines is not Dikembe Mutombo. Knock it off.
Irving gets
They're
the
starting a
funnel.
rookie and a second-year player in that lineup.
As great as Kyrie is looking, and I had him as a dark horse MVP candidate going into the season. If they win 60-something, 60-ish, he'll be in the hunt. He'll be right there. But as good as he looks, the guy that's shining the most is Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
I agree.
You said it with 2 young guys. I don't care how good Jaylen Brown potentially can be defensively. He's still a second-year player, fresh out of 1 year in college.
Tatum.
You rarely see young players like this, and then a point guard who's never been a great defender. To have the best defense in the league, that is incredibly impressive. So I give him credit for that.
And you have to give Kyrie credit, brother. When I say brother, I'm talking about Shannon. You can't just call Kyrie a funnel when he's number 2 in defensive efficiency in the NBA. Like, stop. And yes, Jason Tatum's doing a great job as well defensively.
Can you tell me something? Kyrie Irving last year averaged about 25 points, about 5 assists, about a steal a game. Can you tell me anything different about him this year besides he's in green?
His numbers were actually better last year.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but they were better last year because they were on a team that concentrated more on offense last year. So, you expect different things thus far. And once again, it's only been 16 games. There's 66 games left in the season. The brother Kyrie could have a month where he averages 30 a game. So,
keep telling you a number that you keep ignoring. He's second in the NBA in individual defense played.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Skip. And I'm glad he hammered it home again because Shannon is trying to ignore that fact.
I'll show it to you. You got to look. Ask your researcher to look that up.
Now, didn't I tell you that Skip was going to make that type of statement? That basically Shannon has not been doing his research on Kyrie. He's going by narrative that Kyrie can't play defense. How do you know that? Because they're still going by the narrative that LeBron is a great defensive player, and he hasn't even been good for the last 4 years.
All I'm saying,
it's a fact.
He shot better from the field.
He can't process that.
He shot better from the 3.
He can process it. It just doesn't fit his argument.
It's okay.
Last year.
Yeah.
So the only difference is
the difference is 13 and 2.
Okay,
that's the difference.
Skip. You make
Skip. I let your ass talk, didn't I? Now let me talk. I understand. Okay, Kyrie's number 2. Okay, cool. The little nigga rolls up from 332 to 2. Good for him. Shit. I guess he ate a Lucky Charm with the leprechaun. I don't know. But, it's a long season.
Hold on, what was their record last year at this time in Cleveland?
Kyrie is deferring. He's doing whatever it takes to win the basketball game.
So in other words, he's doing what he was unwilling to do in Cleveland. And remember,
that's not true. He has a different role in Boston. You have to analyze what he's doing based on what his role is. His role is determined by the coach. He left because he did not like the coach or the game plan. Okay? If he was so offense hungry and hated to play defense so much, that's already what he was doing in Cleveland, according to you. So he would have just stayed. Why would he go to a team where he was forced to play defense if he doesn't like playing defense, or if he doesn't want to do anything different from what he was doing in Cleveland? Why would he leave?
remember I said this, a lot of times when you're an athlete and people say you can't do something, what do when you go somewhere else? You show everybody what you can. It's kind of like a relationship, Skip. You know, oh, he was selfish. Oh, he wouldn't do this. You get a new relationship. Hey, where you want to go? You don't put your foot down. You whatever. Hey, what you want to?
All right.
Hell yeah. You know, when I first got with LeBron and Savannah, you know, I decided, look, I will make this shit work. I asked him, where you like to go? Okay, you like to go to Disneyland? Let's go. You know, it's on me. You get in a teacup? I get in a teacup. I love it.
I got you. But back to the LeBron question. If this trend continues, it's going to be up to that owner he's coexisting with LeBron James. So he's going to have to read the tea leaves, and he's going to have to make a gut-level decision to plunge or not plunge. And the plunge would be, he ain't staying anyway, I'm going to trade him at the trade deadline.
You can't trade him. He got a no trade.
Well, if you trade him the right place,
LeBron said, "I'm not."
Agree on
LeBron has already said, "I'm not going anywhere doing."
Yeah, I'm not buying that one, Skip. LeBron is not going to allow himself to be traded. Like Shannon said, he got a no-trade clause, and he's not leaving other than on his own terms. He's not going to allow a team that brings him in to give up any assets. When LeBron leaves, it's going to be through free agency.
We're doing the season.
Huh?
Yeah, would he? I don't know that he would do that because I don't know that there's a place he would go that he commit to.
Would he commit to the Lakers long term?
No.
Why would he commit to the Lakers long term from a trade when he could do so in free agency? Why would he want them to give up any of their assets? No, it doesn't make sense.
I don't think so.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll trade you Kevin Love and a player for Joel Embiid.
I tell you what, Skip. We trade Kevin Haight. That's why I call him, because I hate his ass. We trade Kevin Haight and Tristan Kardashian and a fourth-round draft pick for Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. How you like that?
A player? Who? Derrick Rose?
Kevin Love and a player.
Yeah.
Not named LeBron James.
What do you think is a reasonable LeBron James trade?
I have no idea. With the Lakers, they would be better suited if they would just wait it out.
Absolutely, both parties would be better suited to wait it out. So that's why the proposition of a trade or LeBron accepting a trade, that just doesn't make any sense, Skip.
If he would commit to the Lakers, and if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, we're not trading him. We'll just get him in the summer.
If you know you can get him, but if you could trade for him, you guarantee that you're going to get him, but you're going to have to give up a bunch of young
I wouldn't do it just because I think they could keep those guys and bring them.
I believe had Cleveland known that Kyrie was going to want out, they would have traded him and got Paul George and Carmelo. I think they got blindsided by this Kyrie. There's no way.
Well, hey, that's kind of reverse engineering, because they tried to trade Kyrie for Paul George and the trade fell apart. Okay, that's what precipitated Kyrie demanding the trade in the first place.
There's no way.
I'm told they could have got Paul George for Kyrie. There were all types of three-team scenarios, but LeBron wouldn't commit to staying in Cleveland.
Exactly, and that's the reason why Kyrie turned finally against LeBron, because I believe that was the last in a long line of indignities that Kyrie feels like he tolerated. And he said, this nigga, the only reason why I'm still here is because this nigga did not want to commit to staying long term. So he does not even want to commit to the team, much less me. So fuck him.
Right.
Because Paul George wanted to know his.
And I believe, for all the people who always say they don't understand why Cleveland traded Kyrie to Boston, I believe Kyrie went in there with a list of teams and he told them, look, this is who you're going to trade me to, or I am going to retire. I truly believe that Kyrie told him that he would retire if they didn't trade him.
LeBron going to stay there.
Right.
George was willing to stay this year, obviously, and next year. He wasn't really willing to sign a huge extension. Right. He was willing to go the 2 years, and LeBron still wouldn't commit to Cleveland.
Yeah, we got to leave our
I don't know why not.
Why? It's just loyal, right?
We got to leave our options open. Shit. I told Bron. I don't like to stay in one place too long, baby. Especially if the house ain't going to be nice. I need a house on the waterfront. Me, you, and Savannah walk down the beach in the nude. Let everybody see all our black beauty. So, unless we going to L.A. with them beautiful beaches out there, don't make no long-term commitment. Especially not San Antonio. We can go there and win a chip, but I can't stay there more than 2 years. I need to be on the beach. I can't deal with that Riverwalk shit.
Right?
No.
LeBron James is
Isn't that what the tattoo says? Oh, so it should be like
to
loyalty
championship.
to championship.
Well, he utilizes his power.
Yeah.
Who's loyal in NBA?
I'm okay with it.
Loyal?
I'm
The
okay with
GM's
it.
loyal?
To be clear, I'm okay with it. I'm just confused
I
by
love
the branding.
loyalty.
That's
I believe that when he says loyalty, he's referring to his loved ones, and that's who you're supposed to be loyal to, not no fucking organization. One thing that I get on LeBron for the PED use, but that's the only thing that I really can get on him about, and some of his little bitchy antics with the social media. But in regards to his understanding of his business and how to conduct himself in the business world and how the NBA is just a business, he handles it par excellence.
That's all.
I'm the most money can buy. I love loyalty.
Chris will be back later in the show. Who should start at quarter?
I love loyalty. You know, me and LeBron and Savannah, when we go and we renew our vows every year, I tell them both, y'all the best thing that happened to me. You know, since John Elway, other than John, y'all the best thing that happened. Made me happy. You, Savannah, the kids, best thing ever happened. Then we exchange our rings and our vows, and we walk down the beach, holding hands, and I love it. And Skip, you gonna stop talking shit about my family. I promise you, I'll whoop your ass all the way from here to next year. You still be in the hospital. Be watching the NBA Finals from the ICU. But anyway, that's the video on LeBron James and the potential for him being traded. I definitely don't believe that that's going to happen, but it was an interesting conversation. But anyway, peace.